All right.
Hi Poonam, thank
Hi.
you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me over.
Lovely.
Today, we're going to be talking to the ex-Chief Marketing Officer of Apple in India. She has also led marketing Pepsi, Microsoft and Nokia. We are going to put her through a mock interview for the role of a country head marketing. These roles easily pay salaries of over 2 CR. Like me, if you are someone that wants to crack these high-paying roles that also make big impact, then this is your chance to learn to be best in the business.
So Poonam, you are interviewing for country head marketing role for Thunderbolt. There are already players in the market. One is Blue Bull, the other one is called Devil, a white bottle. Now Thunderbolt has already invested. I mean, they've earmarked a budget of about 40-ish crores, $5 million, to debut on with ad films and everything, do a master launch during the IPL season. Now what's happened is it's about 2 weeks before the IPL starts, and what Blue Bull has done, they've launched a smear campaign, sort of like a fake news campaign that's very centrally organized against Thunderbolt, spreading rumors about the dangers of consuming Thunderbolt, that it has certain wrong and unsafe ingredients. So much so that social media has been activated. Certain influencers are also taking part in it. And the hashtag that's trending is Thunderbolt Health Risk. So you are coming in at this point. What do you assess of the situation?
I think what is important is get the facts right first. Okay. Is this a smear campaign or is there anything hidden?
It's a smear campaign.
If it's a smear campaign, then extremely important for them to go out there and address it. You have to understand that the digital consumer today is very aware, is very unforgiving. Okay, they will not give you a second chance. So I think very, very important for them to use this as an opportunity to go out and address that cohort with facts and take it head on. There is no chance in today's world for you to lie under a rock. Absolutely not. So I would recommend that go address it, tell your consumers, leverage the entire media consumption ecosystem, the influencers, the nano influencers. I believe the micro and the nano influencers work phenomenally. I mean, you pay a lot of money to get the big guys in, but if you're able to invest and pick the right influencers and continue to do that over a period of say 3 to 6 months with them, build some kind of a network. Yeah. So that they are talking about your product with the audience again and again, and they're talking about the good things about your product. They are not, and this other part that has happened, the smear campaign becomes, one of the things.
So there are a couple of cases where, like you said, we will leverage influencers, but there are already influencer partnerships that we put in place. And there are statements coming out like, I'm pausing my partnership with Thunderbolt until further notice because they pose a health risk. And their audiences, sizable audiences are looking at these pieces. The second thing that's happening is you're getting customer success emails like, hey, I've been loyal to Thunderbolt. Is my health at risk? Is it unsafe to drink? Can you give us information? There are information. There is also a lot of hate coming through your customer success channels. The health regulatory has issued a statement saying, we're checking the claims, right?
Sometimes educating consumers is also very important. Telling them what is the health risk that we are talking about. And here's what I'm thinking, that maybe because it's health, maybe the influencers that you guys would have planned at the moment would have been, the Gen Z and the millennial influencers. Maybe it's time to get sources of authority, get doctors. Okay, sure. Get doctors to talk about medical practitioners to say that this is not a health risk, it's as much of a health risk as any other brand.
Would doctors promote an energy drink?
Doctors don't promote Pepsi.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? They don't promote Pepsi. Yeah. What they say, how you get them to say that. So if you're saying the health risks are the same as any other health risk with any
overdosing on energy drinks or coffee can pose health risk.
Yeah, so I think very, very important to go and build a campaign around that, build a narrative around that. It's almost like demystifying energy drinks then. You'll have to do some of those things because see, then you're also saying that this category needs that education. Right? So maybe that's a position that Thunderbolt can take. And the reason I said doctors would be, you don't have to go to doctors who can talk about it in a manner which is not promoting an energy drink. It's about just stating facts. I think getting that narrative around the facts right is very important, and getting more and more people. So I would say start with building what is my narrative for this. That's the starting point. What is my narrative? And then, it's like the same hymn sheet for everybody then. Everybody is singing then from the same hymn sheet, Your
Fair.
influencers are singing from there, your internal people are singing from there. And this is again very, very important. And we did this wherever I've had crisis in my earlier roles. This is the narrative. These are the 3 bullet points that we want to talk about. Okay, we're not going to go because you're coming with a different thing, I'm going to give you a different answer. No, these are the 3 things. So stick to that. And I think building that and having, like for this cohort, this is the kind of influencer that we need. And this is the narrative we will play with them. And again, people who are saying, I am pausing my partnership with Thunderbolt, please go out and reach out to them. Because if you've got them in your network, you have paid for that, right? So it's very important that you reach out to them, even if they are negative at this point. It's like going into a mine, but it's important to take steps and go into that now before it becomes bigger. Before they get some more information from another brand, if Blue Bull is really at it, maybe this could be one of the things that they have done, reached out to existing influencers. Again, happens all the time.
So, Poonam, you've put together a bunch of things that we can do. There's like a good sort of a toolkit that you can deploy. I want to know, in the first 24 hours, what are the specific set of actions you will take?
First is get your song sheet right. Because you can't say one thing today and then change it to...
So song sheet is basically phrases?
Facts. Facts. What are you going to talk about? Because it's immediate dousing of the fire, right? That's what it's needed. And if that song sheet takes you 48 hours, it's okay. But go out with one set of facts. Don't go out and, in 4 days, 5 days, what we said that time was a little, half-baked. Go out with the facts. And if that means facing that backlash for 2 days, which is hard, but I would say stick to getting those facts right. So that when you're out there in the market, you're confident about what you're saying. Again, consumers pick that up. Okay, internet, your people who are watching you will pick that up. When you are talking with confidence and you are stating facts, not emotions, facts. Go out with facts and address that. So that is part 1. And I would say, and that is the first 24 to 48 hours and going out there. Second, I think very important. So when I say going out there, it will be maybe calling out a press conference or doing a live, but because they're very new, I don't know how effective a live will be. Media will definitely come because they are new brand getting a backlash. It's a great thing for media to cover, because it's TRPs. I'm sorry to say that, but it's so they will definitely come. Again, it's very important how you turn this into who Thunderbolt is and why. If this is happening, take that head on.
So, what are the 3 key messages that you would give to the public while talking about the campaign?
Okay, so I think the first thing, because it's a new product, right? They have not really started their narrative in India,
Correct.
right? So getting that, the heritage, the legacy, getting that out there should be the first point. Like, you're an American brand, but what do you really do? The second point I would say is your plans in India. Okay, what do you want to do in India? What is the target audience? How will the price points be? So plans for India. Where do you want to see yourself in the next year or 2 years? The third thing would be to address the health risk issue that they're being confronted with. And if I may ask, what is the health risk?
So the health risk is that people are saying the caffeine levels are unsafe in the drink and higher than other countries. 1, 2, which means that they're feeling a little panicky. They're having panic attacks. They're feeling anxious after consuming the drink. That is 1. 2, this is on social. It has been taken to a different level where people are having the drink and then they're having involuntary body movements. They're saying, we're getting fit. These are stories that are coming out by social. That is what the whole campaign has.
Okay.
It's adding fuel to the fire essentially.
Okay.
And it's not true.
Okay, it's not true at all,
no truth
right?
to any of
So very important then to...
There's no truth. In fact, we've also gotten it tested by the labs. Doesn't pose any risk if you drink moderate amounts of it. Yeah, overconsumption is an issue for every energy drink.
Yeah. So one is definitely address that, but I think I wouldn't make that as a part of my narrative. People who are posing and doing this, that is like really playing below the belt. Okay, that I would go and address more creatively from a marketing perspective, right? Maybe do a mannequin challenge to respond to that. That doesn't happen, right? Consumption has to be moderate. Address that, and I think addressing that with the media will be very fact based, but addressing that through marketing would need a lot more creative brains behind it. So, but I think addressing that issue and setting the stage that people shouldn't consume more than X amount, right? Which I think is a very big statement for businesses to make, because you're actually telling people, but I think that's the need of the hour also. Think about gaming companies, think about OTT. All of them are also saying watch in moderation. People have started, because as you become the big, someone in the category has to be seen as responsible, especially when you have sticky issues around. Maybe this is an opportunity for them to be seen as a responsible drink company.
So, how do you leverage the upcoming IPL season despite the ongoing cement campaign?
I would say go ahead with your plans. Absolutely go ahead with your main narrative. But like I said previously, I think allocate some amount of money for addressing this issue. You could actually have something like a Mythbuster campaign, which is not naming and shaming people, but going out and addressing the issue more creatively. Absolutely do that.
Okay,
but again,
give us an instance.
I would say, just coming back, maybe 3/4 should be on building the brand, because you are here to build Thunderbolt, right? This is a side issue that has cropped up, which is impacting. So this needs to be addressed, but doesn't need to be the center of action. So I think focus more on building Thunderbolt, 3/4, and maybe 1/4, definitely 1/4 in IPL for this, because you'll get the right eyeballs.
Give us an example of a fun, creative marketing campaign.
Fun, creative.
To address the issue.
With the new context.
So EGF, E-Gaming Federation. So when I started consulting with them, one of the things I realized was that they were the only federation talking about responsible gaming. And they had a very strong code of conduct, that any gaming company that becomes a part of EGF has to sign up for the code of conduct, which is getting audited, right? They have, I think, Deloitte or someone auditing every year. And if you don't fulfill those, you're not given the badge or whatever for the next year. So it's proper audit, and then putting limits, right? So in the way that you have to set your limits before you start playing. Whether it's time, money, actually money more than time, and then also nudging people if they are losing. You kind of nudge them and say, hey, you're losing, and do you want to take a break? Creatively say that, but are you doing this? So those are all parts of this, and no other federation was doing that. We also realized that it's going to take a long time just building that at a media and events and white papers karke. So what I suggested was, let's go and get to the gamers and get them to become responsible. So how do you get them to become responsible? The moment you tell them, we want you to play responsibly, it's like, okay. So it's very you're like patronizing them. So instead of calling it responsible gaming, we turned the whole narrative around and said, why don't you make them asli gamers? There were 5 principles of responsible gaming. Asli gamer is someone who puts limits before he starts playing. Asli gamer is someone who brings a balance in work and life and games. Asli gamer is someone so all the 5 principles, you just turned it ulta and said, asli gamer is someone who does that. The name, sometimes, it's just that works. So asli gamer becomes like it had a more macho feel to it. It was not the, looking down and saying you become responsible. This is the right thing to do and get people to do it. So it was a pure, gaming.
You're leading with the role model.
Yeah. So, and that's what we did. So we had Shubman Gill and we had Nazi write a song for us, and it was all about asli gamer, and they built it into Nazi actually built the principles of responsible gaming into the script, So I think that was a smart move by the federation. I think they had some 400,000 gamers who signed up to become asli gamer and downloaded a badge. I think the next level was really to take it, but I think we'll do it in the future.
So you want to do some rendition of that here?
I'm just thinking, no, not here. Here it will have to be, leverage this as an opportunity to talk about the health risk. But if overconsumption is something that, drinking in moderation is something that they could go ahead with. Bring that out as a third point. Drinking in moderation, and brands do that all the time. For example, if you look at Lay's, there is a 5 rupees ka Lay's, there's a 10 rupees ka Lay's. It's at one level, of course, it's a penetration strategy, but at another level, it is about getting people to have a smaller amount, a handful, right?
Got it. So responsible drinking of energy drink is what you want to play on. And you're saying either build a campaign around it or sell small quantities.
Maybe do that, and
Which
maybe,
will sell more,
if
because-
overconsumption is a thing, like they could have smaller packs, for example, in the future. It can't happen overnight, but in the future. But, they could take a peg position and say that, we are all about responsible drinking, for example.
Maybe they sell only one bottle to one person, the idea.
That's a little hard. But, just getting the narrative going. I think drinking, have one bottle. But as a company, then they need to be very clear that that's something that they want to do.
Understood, but no, I'm not able to understand how will you have a role model approach to it?
You
like
could
if there
have
is an asli share.
share.
Drinks responsibly,
Doesn't drink. But see, you can creatively do so many things around it,
Okay.
right? You are then taking a position of educating the category, educating the consumer. And again, I would very, very clearly recommend that because you're talking to millennials and because you're talking to Gen Z, your approach cannot be patronizing. Okay, it has to be a lot more about, talking about the same thing, but in a manner which is, they can consume. Okay, make it cool to not overconsume.
Nice. Okay. Got it. Lovely. Thanks, Poonam.
Thank you so much.
for joining us.
Thank you.